So we got 3 easy clues on crude oil today. Friday morning, we knew we had to come in early, be patient, and get out early before the volume hit the exits. First clue we saw this morning was the price wedge. Now the price wedge, again, we had a big wedge, right? That was pretty easy to find. But then also we have a more narrow wedge, and the narrow wedge was really one of the biggest clues we got. Second clue was the inside day. Mark up your highs from Thursday, your lows from Thursday. There's your inside day right there. Where are we? We are inside the range, above the lows, below the highs from Thursday. And then the third clue, had to search for this one. The third clue is called an advanced price structure. Members, you know what it is. If you're a guest in our trade room, log into your advanced course when you join as a member, and you'll learn all about it. Again, big double tops up top. Gives me some major support right there. Small double top, right? Minor double top right here. Gives me major support right there. And so as you can see here, third clue, double top tells me what? You got it. At support, buy support, and retest that double top high. So 3 clues this morning. These were used to put together our plan of attack. What do you think our plan was? You guessed it, right? Buy those lows, sell those highs of the wedge. All right? Buy those lows, sell those highs of the wedge. We also knew because of the inside day, if price was to break through the highs, we'd try to sell it. If price broke through the lows, we'd try to buy it, right? Inside day, buy the lows, sell the highs. And then don't forget, that double top said, if we test some support, we're going back up to retest double top, right? Double top was the big clue, and we knew because of that, if we tested support and it held, we go all the way back up and hit that double top high again. Here we are at the top of that wedge. All right, by 8:15, 8:30, we had international trade at 8:30. And after 8:30, if you recall, we got that ECB statement. And I can't recall what the exact statement was. I'm a day trader. I really don't care what the statement was. All I care about is what the reaction was. So price dropped. But in all reality, what happened though is the dollar came off, right, the lows and started to rise higher. Well, knowing that we were looking for that fade the news, fade the reaction, we already knew this market had baked it all in. And so when the price dropped on crude, we waited for it to stabilize, and then we faded the news, right, and brought it back up. Now you can see over here what actually happened. This is the 4-range chart. We came down, right, swing high, we break it, right, and that's, of course, how we got into that trade long. So I didn't just guess at 9 o'clock. I used this 4-range chart, okay, to get my entry in there. Well, of course, then that sets up nicely here for a wave pattern short. Okay, remember, we're going from top to bottom. We're expecting now this to go from top to bottom here. So we go down, I buy, of course, fade the news, bring it up into a picture perfect wave pattern short. We take the wave pattern short, expecting now to test these lows of this wedge. 45 ticks later, we made 31 ticks buying, fading the news, follow the plan. We made at 9:02 here another 45 ticks, right? That's what, 76 ticks? So 76 ticks in the first trade, guys. That's 760 USD before 9:05 this morning. Pretty great way to begin your Friday morning. And again, we follow the plan. Very easy. Very easy. Next up, we buy, we sell. We're now down to the lows. Now, what's our plan going to be at the lows? You got it. Buy those lows. It's support. Momentum is oversold, lines up perfectly. I take one trade long, +5, -5. The second trade long, that was the winner, +38. And then you can see here we go up, 2-step pattern long, again at 9:31 now for 20 more ticks. So follow the bouncing ball here, guys. I'm using a faster time frame to enter the first trade here. I go down and I test the wedge low. Now remember, we had been waiting for this. This was the highest percentage trade we had the whole morning, was to buy these lows. Little bit sloppy at the low because if you recall, I mean, what happened this morning? While the crude was falling to the lows, the dollar was still rising. But the dollar had a little bit more room before it hit the resistance. Remember that? So we talked about this morning and we said, all right, if the dollar keeps going higher, even though the crude is at the lows of the wedge, we may have to take a sloppy trade on this one first. We may have to take a couple swings at this before we get the one to rise. Again, we were at the lows on crude, but not quite at the highs on the dollar. And we talked about that in detail this morning. So I took my first trade. My first trade gives me +5 and then bounces me out. Again, dollar was still rising. Well, then once the dollar found itself up to the highs, the resistance, now all of a sudden it took off. Right? So first trade was +5, -5. Second trade was a +38 ticks. Okay? It's a +5, +10, +18. And then, of course, we go up. Wave 1 at 9:30, not going to take it. But by 9:31, I will take that two-step pattern long. Remember, I'm not going to trade between 9:15 and 9:30, okay, around the U.S. Open. So at this point now, we got 75 ticks in the first two trades, right? An extra, 58 ticks here. We have over 130 ticks now, guys. That's $1,300 just on crude alone. And it's only 9:30.